Hello action figure fans, this is HammerTron here with a new action figure review for you. This time I am reviewing the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Goldar action figure by Hasbro. This was released in 2020. This is the wingless version of Goldar. The winged version was an exclusive at another store. So here it is in the window package. I like the window package so we can see the action figure itself and the accessories that it comes with. Here is the top. Here is the bottom. It has a sticker from some place where I bought it. I did not buy this in 2020. I bought it more recently. Here is one side. A nice picture on the side. And I like how this picture here on the front wraps around to the side here. So very nice. Here is the back. It shows a picture of the action figure with some manufacturing information down here. What is odd is there's no cross-sell showing the other action figures that are part of this 6th wave Power Rangers Lightning Collection action figures. So I will open this up and review the action figure in just a moment. Here are the accessories we get with this Mighty Morphin Goldar action figure. We get lightning, very pliable translucent plastic, so this is meant to be some lightning or energy effect. And the way it's designed, it is designed to wrap around the blade of this sword. It's a pretty nice looking sword, a bit pliable here, very thin plastic up here, so pliable. We don't want to bend it too far. But here's the handle. This part is a stiffer plastic, so maybe two different kinds or two different pieces are kind of glued together, maybe, or this part is just thin enough that it's very pliable. So not a whole lot of painted details, but some nice little sculpted detail. And we have a pair of extra hands. We have a right grasping hand here and a left fisted hand, nicely sculpted, but I don't think there's any paint on it. Here's the peg with hinges, so a very thin peg. Personally, I prefer thicker pegs because I'm afraid these thin ones will break. And then this is the wingless version of Goldar. So we have these little pieces that peg into holes in the back, and I'm not sure which way they're supposed to go, whether it's this way or this way. Now with the design of the peg there, the tip there is a bit larger than the rest of it, so if I plug it in, I'm afraid I won't be able to pull it out without breaking it, so I might not plug these in. But these are meant to fill the holes, and in a couple episodes Goldar didn't have wings, and there was one episode where Lord Zed arrived and returned his wings to him. So nice set of accessories, a bit plain, not a lot of painted details, but they still look pretty nice. Here is Goldar. Let's see how tall this action figure is. According to the tape measure, a little more than 6 3/4 inches tall, or about, well, a little more than 17 centimeters tall. So nicely sized action figure. So Goldar is one of the minions of Rita Repulsa, or Lord Zed in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He's probably one of the cooler looking characters with his gold armor. I wonder why he's called Goldar. He's sort of a purple skinned space gorilla. And this looks pretty nice. A bit plain, I think. He's mostly gold, and I don't think there's a lot of paint detail, maybe mostly on the face there, on the head. He has some soft pliable plastic representing his hair. Some pliable plastic here for the shoulder pauldrons, and a skirt piece here. And on the back, looks like a little tail wrapped around, and it's painted, but it's pliable plastic. So not a whole lot of details. Here are the holes where we put the wings or wing nubs. I don't know if I'll put them on. I'm afraid they would be too hard to pull out, and I like to be able to put the action figure back in the package for display or storage or moving. And it has some clawed toes here, peg holes in the heels, maybe some paint detail on the knees there, but I think everything else has no paint details, just a lot of sculpted details. But still a pretty nice looking action figure. Let's take a look at the articulation. With the hair on the head there, that does limit the articulation, so we can jiggle his head a little bit, but not very much. At the shoulders, we can get them out about this far. A little bit of ratcheting. The pliable plastic in the shoulder pauldrons will move a little bit, although if we leave it this way too long it might warp with that plastic, but not very far on the shoulders. That's too bad. And there's some soft ratcheting in there, and we can move them. The shoulder pauldrons get in the way, so if we're not careful we might rip something, so I don't want to move it too far. So the shoulders do move that way. And yes, there are some butterfly joints in here, so that's pretty good. I didn't notice them before, but here they are. And we have bicep cuts, so that is working. And that side is working, so that's good. Double jointed elbows go that far, and this far. So those are working. We can twist at the wrist there, and there's a hinge. So the hinges are a little bit stiff, but the twist does work, and the hinge does work a little bit. I don't want to push too hard though. We have a diaphragm cut where we can go around. He bends back quite a bit, but not forward very much. It looks like there's different colored plastic here. I think that's not paint, just a different colored plastic for the midsection of the body. And this pliable plastic piece from the upper torso does get out of the way, but there's still not very much movement there. At the hips, well, actually there's no waist twist at all. So at the hips, this is about as far as he can go to do the splits, so not very good. And part of it is it's being blocked by the pliable plastic of the skirt piece there, so that's getting in the way of the articulation. You can kick forward, not too bad, and not really back. So you can kick forward, and not too bad, and not really back. So the skirt piece is open here, so that gives him some more range of movement this way. Upper thigh cut is working, and that side is working. We have double jointed knees, and that is as far as they go. Not too bad. And it's kind of a sitting position. Yeah, but if we put him in a chair, I think that tail will get in the way. But those are working. The knees are softly ratcheted there. Maybe you can hear that. That might be a little too soft to hear, but there is some clicking in there. And there is no boot cut, no twist there. At the ankles, You can do the tippy toes there. And goes up not very far at all because the boot is interfering with the articulation there. And there's a little bit of an ankle pivot there. So some of the articulation is limited due to the design of the action figure, but I'm pretty happy that all the joints are working very nicely right out of the package. This is the first time I've opened it, and this has been in the package for maybe 5 years now, or almost 5 years. And it is a pretty warm day, so all of the joints are working pretty smoothly and nicely right out of the package. Nothing is too stiff, nothing is too loose, nothing feels like it's going to break at the moment. So I'm really quite pleased with how the action figure looks, and all the joints are working nicely right out of the package. Here is Goldar next to a pair of 4-inch scale action figures. On the right is an adventurer from an Animal Planet set I reviewed a while ago. On the left is the Fortnite Jonesy action figure by Jazzwares. And Goldar makes a great giant size monster for the 4-inch scale action figures. Here is Goldar next to a 6-inch scale action figure. On the left, the Action Force Condor action figure by Jazzwares. And that one is actually about 6.5 inches tall. And a 7-inch scale action figure on the right, the Masters of the Universe Masterverse He-Man action figure by Mattel. And Goldar fits in very well with the scale if he's meant to be a human-sized monster character. So about the same size as a regular human in 6-inch scale, or maybe a little bit smaller than a human in 7-inch scale. I like this Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Goldar action figure. So far all the joints are working very nicely for me right out of the package. It's been in the package for about 5 years and they're working right out of the package, so I'm very happy about that. The accessories are pretty nice. And I did plug in these little wing nubs in the back here. I did not push them all the way in. I think I have them sticking out a little bit, so it shouldn't be too hard for me to remove it. Yeah, pretty easy to remove it, so I'm not going to push very hard to keep them in there, but it does add a little extra detail to the action figure. And this lightning or energy effect is pretty nice. It just fits right over the sword there. I'm really happy with the sword. It fit into the hand very easily. Now I'm playing around with this action figure on a fairly warm day, so everything is working pretty smoothly and nicely right out of the package. So maybe in winter time, or when it's really cold, there'd be more problems with the joints, but so far it's working very nicely. It looks pretty good. Maybe not a whole lot of paint detail, but I wouldn't expect there to be a whole lot on this particular character. So all in all, a really nice action figure from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection series. Thank you for watching my review video. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this action figure, and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my future reviews and commentary. I will see you next time, action figure fans.